And when the angel said, remember, O Allah, you're putting mankind on the earth to establish the Khilafah. أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ. Are you placing on earth those who will cause the historical process to be filled with fasad and bloodshed? That the historical process is now going to be corrupted and contaminated by those who want to establish a bogus Khilafah state? Yes, the angels knew it was going to commence with Pax Britannica. And with Pax Britannica you had fasad all over the world. Fasad is not only that which corrupts, but corrupts in such a way that it destroys. The British wanted the Khilafah state to be surrendered. And in order to get the Khilafah state surrendered, they needed more than Mustafa Kemal. Because they knew the world of Islam cannot be hoodwinked forever by Mustafa Kemal. They knew that the surrender of the Khilafah state is not possible in the Arab world. So they turned to India. They turned to Muslim India. And they had to get Muslim India to surrender the Khilafah state in order for them to achieve the objective of the Muslim world surrendering the Khilafah state. And that's what they did in India. They surrendered the Khilafah state. And they did it mostly because Iqbal made this mistake. It's going to be hard to swallow, but it has to enter into the record that Muslim India recognized the new leadership that emerged after the Khilafat movement collapsed. That if Britain wanted Muslims to surrender the Khilafah state, they're going to have to pay a price for it. Britain never wanted Pakistan to be born. No. Britain detested a Pakistan being born as an Islamic state. Hindu India did not want a Pakistan to be born. No. But there was no way they could stop it. The leadership of the Muslims recognized an opportunity that yes, if we surrender the Khilafah state, the price that they'll have to pay is Pakistan. If they want us to surrender the Khilafah state, the price that they will have to pay is Pakistan, which is a republican state. The British bit their fingers in anguish, and the Hindus bit their fingers and so on, but they could not avoid it. And so that opportunity that was grasped resulted in the creation of Pakistan. Yes, it's a republican state. Yes, there's shirk everywhere. When I went to Pakistan as a student in 1964, $1 was worth 1 rupee, 75 paisa. $1 today is worth about 105 or 110 Pakistani rupees. And if the government of Pakistan were to make a step towards Russia, it might go to 200. That's how they punish you. Pakistan was born, therefore, as a republican state, and the British had to concede it. Can this Pakistan become a Khilafah state? Is it possible for it to become a Khilafah state? Because of the way Muslims of India responded, I am of the opinion that when the war now takes place, the nuclear war which is coming, could come even before the US elections, because they're afraid of Trump. That a window of opportunity is now going to be opened, because there's going to be a crack in the backbone of Gog and Magog. And a movement can now be launched by those who, according to Iqbal, who have Chashme Musla, Doon Kar Aslaf Ko Kalbo Jigar. Go search for those who have that courage, that backbone made of steel of the early Muslims, if you want to restore the Khilafah state. Our Prophet said, Hadith is in the Sunan of Abi Dawood, and with this we'll end. He's talking about events in the historical process in Akhir Zaman. And he said, he's speaking to his companion Mu'az ibn Jabal, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And he says to him, Mu'az, Umranu Bayt al-Maqdis Kharabu Yathrib. Wait until you see Jerusalem emerging, built up, center stage in world affairs. And at that time, look to Medina. When you see Medina, Kharabu Yathrib, in a state of forlorn desolation. How you say that in Urdu? Forlorn desolation. Give me a nice Urdu expression. Sabina, huh? Kharab? Taba ho gaya? No, that's not adequate enough. Forlorn desolation. Huh? Abandoned. No, I want to get an Urdu expression because there are lots of people in Pakistan are going to be listening to this lecture. Okay, maybe Urdu doesn't have it. Umranu Bayt al-Maqdis Kharabu Yathrib. When you see Jerusalem built up, shining center stage in the world, then look to Medina. And when you see Medina in a state of forlorn desolation, Kharabu Yathrib, then Kharabu Yathrib Khurujul Malhama, then look, because the next event that is going to come, major in the historical process, will be the Malhama. The Malhama. Has the Malhama occurred as yet? No. No. Where is the proof? No. Where is the proof? The Prophet ﷺ spoke about the Malhama when he said in the hadith of Sahih Bukhari that the river Euphrates will uncover a mountain of gold, and people will fight for that gold. But 99 out of every 100 who fight for that gold will be killed. Meaning, this would be a unique war in human history. A war like no war has ever been before, which would kill 99% of combatants. This is the Malhama. And everyone who fights for that goal would say, I will be the one who will survive. So when they enter that Malhama, they don't know who's going to win.
Can you explain the Malhama?
The Malhama is a great war, a great war, prophesied by Nabi Muhammad ﷺ, which will occur in Akhir Zaman, the end time. The Christians know it as Armageddon. Armageddon, a great war. I asked the question, has the Malhama occurred as yet? And I went to another hadith which throws light on the Malhama, that there will be a war in which 99% of all combatants will be killed. And I've said, No war in history has been like that. None. This is a unique war. Nor can this be conventional warfare. No. This has to be warfare using weapons of mass destruction, like nuclear weapons. And he said, no one will know who will survive, the one who will survive. But the Muslims must not touch that goal. Those who wish to wait for a mountain of the metal to come out of the river, a literal interpretation, have the right to do so. We've understood this as religious symbolism, and we've said this occurred in 1974, when an ocean of oil underneath the river began to function as a mountain of gold, and the petrodollar was born. But never accept Imran's opinion. No. Until you're convinced that he's correct. And so the Malhama is now around the corner. But what happens after the Malhama? I believe we've settled the case that the Malhama has not as yet occurred, the one prophesied by Prophet Muhammad. We've settled that case. That Malhama is coming because Russia is challenging the mountain of gold. It's challenging with bricks. So what happens after the Malhama? Listen to what he said. And NATO can take it and put it in their pipe and smoke it. He said, Khurujul Malhama Fathul Constantiniya. The great war of the Malhama would be followed by the conquest of Constantinople. That is why they changed the name of the city. That is why they made it illegal to even use the name of Constantinople. You go to Turkey and you use the name Constantinople, you can be arrested because they wanted to hide what the Prophet said. The conquest of Constantinople in 1453 was bogus. Islam has never ordained jihad against Christians. Where did that rubbish come from with a capital R? Is that your religion? The Ottomans waged bogus jihad on the Christians. Did the Christians attack them? Were they responding to the Christians? No. And when the Ottomans took the city of Constantinople, it was brave and courageous Christians who were defending it on that day. And they were defending themselves against an aggressor. And so I have said it, and I don't care who differs with me and who is annoyed and angry. The shuhada who fell on that day were the Orthodox Christians who died in defending Constantinople. They were the shuhada. And you tell me that is the conquest of Constantinople prophesied by Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Please go and do your homework. Don't make a fool of yourself. I'm sorry if I called you a fool. I apologize. Please do your homework. I don't intend to insult anybody. No, it's not my way. Go and do your homework. The conquest of Constantinople in 1453 is not the conquest prophesied by Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Not only because it was bogus, but also because the conquest of Constantinople comes after the Malhama, not before. The Malhama has not occurred as yet. It could occur before the US elections. Prepare yourself. Nuclear war. Most of us will die.